Abusuya Yamako about over the lab the TV. So then I will should read in and subscribe and YouTube channel, like and share the commercial. Yes, I'm on who talk and it didn't come up. Now, one day a many name tenancy. Now, what my children say after findings and then come home, then Aqua say, Mammy Torkono or cause of financial loss to the state. Now, as a committee, I had a mobile list hearing. It was a hearing in Kodano. The woman ne find this or more say per analysis of my opinion. I said the woman can be charged stand as what to be charged with what causing financial loss to the state. As a man Torkono and if you more or matna say a melanin tenase na or man be tore out. Says Mammy Torkono the government confessor. Any ones who the money mark or then a betukwan, edine to kwan the financial loss to the state and any charge intino a year abino and be making sure says any sabe scanner and a financial loss to the state and the fan charging no the charging you in one is a Kesi Kenyan abusion. You could take discussion on him. God bless you.
The Chief Justice, this document is enough to conclude it. See, I know MP before Campo no more demonstration and all that about it. Document way. Design 3 Limited that is in charge that was given was awarded contract near Chuamuka over 400,000 Ghana cedi. Woma daughters of the Chief Justice giving contract at the place you are heading.
Aside this conflict of interest
claims, everything.
Abano. Issues about the travels, official, unofficial travels, the Nebani ticketing, the per diem no can buy the buy. Emremuno Mfunsomeno I know
that's what I'm saying. I know you see, I know I against Emrano because Emrano I clear say the issue is not just traveling with your daughter, but using the state coffers to pay for woman and husband. What he has here, I don't think the law stops the Chief Justice from traveling with his daughter and husband, but say would the a buying seeker best sponsor will traveling expenses for wo and wo family. No, that is what the law is fighting against. And even though I'm say oh two kwaya Chief Justice two kwaya as I say on funny bodyguard and kono, right? That is how it's supposed to be. But say opese ni family members and on or person only family members and two kwaya, not at the expense of the state. But when looking at the petition or the buying seeker sponsor the tickets or the traveling expenses of the family members. That alone means a wafumrano. And it is not this is not a special case that Chief Justice they means it's a different matter. No, it happens everywhere. Those who do that are made to face the full rigors of law. See, I know unkofua omo yusu aban sika at the year personal matters against Yamrano. See, I know they are made to face the full rigors of law. Don't forget, say the petition about removal may not end there. Why you be against Yamrano? It is grounds to remove you, but and yet full stop. In terms of their way, because you see, I know we have engaged in conflict. Conflict of interest is not just removal. You can be prosecuted. Using a buying seeker as sponsor with members. And not just removal pay. Find a grant for removal. But a buying bet can say after removal, they can take criminal actions against you. Right? To also make sure say Sika where you sue in certain things, you are made to face the full course of law. And not just grounds.
And to say, funny say, almost trusty say committee finding guilty. Say indeed, we're misconducting itself by committing taxpayers' money to the family travels. Now say based on that, President Basso, because of that, she has been removed as a Chief Justice. So Abana and proceed further and press criminal charges against her. Says we cannot retrieve it.
Of course. And no causing financial loss to the state. This falls in the bracket of causing financial loss to the state. What I say, using state coffers to fund your family members. And even though a grounds for removal, no, aban no betimi aka say they will begin criminal actions in the name of causing financial loss to the state, and they are fairly right. What you say, guilt, you know, and that's another angle that some people have not discussed, because it's all about removal. But removal, no, we are. What happens to the money? The state can proceed and make sure, say, Sika, Wayusu, against Emrano, they'll do everything possible to retrieve the money, right? And also prosecute you. But that is in the hands of Abino. And for me, I am very unfortunate, say, Yabaha, to discuss the misconduct of the Chief Justice. And stepping down, let me catch what you say. Make some of your colleagues in Central for say, stepping down doesn't mean sack. She has been suspended pending investigation. And Sisiano said the committee begin in petitions and all that.
This is not part of the petitioner's claim.
It can still be brought because automatically it's a matter of public concern. Say petitions are mature. But it doesn't mean, say, there will not be chances to include issues of when you are bracketing as misconduct. What you say, the procedure in which Chief Justice a petition. It doesn't mean, say, petition there were trope and no debi. It is just the first step. And once a prima facie case has been established, now committee has been set up. Now committee normal starting in terms of investigating the matter. Other people the public is still invited to still slot in such issues. It's a committee. And the committee way na abano kampono can be submitted to the committee as part of the issue of gross misconduct. But yes, because the actual in a petition, it has been put in one bracket. Gross misconduct. It's a gross misconduct there. Everything that is grounded in terms of gross misconduct is allowed. A conflict of interest. We all know, say,
can she be subject to any form of punishment for conflict of interest? Say, or a Chief Justice and an Emamians be a company. And Yamo contract. Contract one of the mom is she as a
the
Chief
judicial
Justice
service is headed. The judicial service is under the Chief Justice. Diobekano and Nuna Judicial Service. She has power over the judicial service. Even though there's a head, right? Chief Justice is, the head of the whole judiciary. What you see, and the fact say anybody could have done this job. But once you occupy office, and not just the fact that you're Chief Justice, any public office who occupies as a public official or official, relatives, and now you can't give yourself contracts. When it is more of giving yourself contracts because so it is more of awarding yourself contract. And we all know, say, that one is conflict of interest. And yet this platform, now you be conflict of interest. It is a matter that Obia occupy officer, that when they engage in conflict of interest, you see everybody up in arms calling for the sack, investigation, prosecution. So, MPP time now, former public procurement authority boss, engaging in awarding himself contract. It was conflict of interest. He was made to step aside, investigated, and I'm sure say he'll be prosecution will continue to make sure say he's made to fit the full rules of law. And conflict of interest there, a general, very general, and everybody knows say once there's conflict of interest, you are off the table. Apart from the other things that have been written about the petition, and I am very unfortunate. Say the issues of Yemra, make I say, Missy Nabeka say, don't criticize where you eat from. But when we're practicing, this is what we're being told. But with time, my baby realizes, say, sometimes it's only proper to speak the truth so that at least yɛbɛboa the judiciary. We no ayasem kɛseɛ. Even this document that has even come out concludes the matter. This particular conflict of interest as no concluding matter no enti sɛ nkrofo kwapo ka sɛ we no NDC plotted agenda. Say NDC for na omu everything possible to remove.
People were talking about a year code of conduct and Mahama the buy. Say produce as a slice now you must put the slice and let's read what Mahama code of conduct says about a year gift. Ukofa Mahama code of conduct no. Mahama can say one, we are banju mania won't mean for bansika and koyado ye on your own personal behalf unless it be a nipa ne worker ewe adwumam ho ene ye bona baso na yemhwe Mahama eye ne gift code of conduct no. So key provisions on gift. You ready number one say yeah pachofatus mame na me ready. Number 1 say prohibition of gifts from interested parties. Appointees are strictly forbidden from accepting gifts or favors from individuals or entities that have interest in government decision to prevent conflict of interest and undue influence. Or say, and sasa woji achadia every obi ho anadwumakuo bi a sebio ope bibia free aman ho ana se ebetimi ama ensunsuanso aba wa badwumadie mu a conflict of interest. And it is a bia memetie samohonto me na me ya badwumani na so wa abechemade so wa me se so wa per contract ewo aban ho so wa favor bi no abechemade aban se ma menje because a conflict of interest ebetimi influence the decision enti aban se me enye. Number 2 was a mandatory declaration of high value gifts, or see any gift received during official engagements with an estimated value exceeding 20,000 Ghana cedis must be declared. Was say obi becha wade say yesika anase ade bi na npa becha na say sika no so sene 20,000 ana de kro na de becha on lebo osum 20,000 a was say we declare we de kira ban say aban asimasi obenten wabecha misika aburu 20,000 wabecha me car wabecha me fie wabecha me hamper wabecha ma de aburu 20,000 na eno no mampani na decide say o fa anase we de was say kwa ban futuo mu. This is what President Mahama code of conduct says. Now let's go to number 3. Number 3 was say surrender of gifts upon leaving office. Or say such high value gifts must be surrendered upon the appointee's departure from office unless explicit written permission is granted by the president to retain them. And Tisaka no be the becha wo abro 20,000. Efie no be the becha abro 20,000. Sika no be the becha abro 20,000. Ade bia nipa ne becha wa ne bo suru 20,000 no. Sebre so se bi wa resign wo kofie. Ana wo turn off office na wo kofie a. O se wo declare sa ne ama no. Then na president akase wo we de fako. And now where the manenka ho because me person de beko. That is what the law says. There's a point 4. The purchase a point 4 no one my mom farmer me say no one there let's move on. So this is what point 4 in here. Or say ban on using public funds for gifts. Or see the use of government funds, including internally generated funds, to purchase hampers or gift items is prohibited. Exceptions are made only for modest gifts to staff in recognition of excellence or upon retirement, which must be budgeted for and approved by the office of the chief of staff. The Mahama code of conduct can say, so ubeche obia dia, aya de becha. I was say a year a beer a jumania only year juma wa banse ho. Wabon home wa de ne bon abaso. And okra na ye budget was a free amana se ho. Ananse odwumani oyɛ adwuma ɛwɔ aso hɔ na wɔkɔ ahomegye mu na bia mo pese mu yɛ bibiri ma ne se bia kwankwaja ɛno no kra no ɛwɔ sɛ mo tro de ba na chief of staff ɛde ne nsa hyɛ ase ɛpene so ansa na ɔtimi sa na manache. This is what John Dramani Mahama code of conduct says about gifts. Where in this code of conduct any can say we a government appointee, you cannot gift your money or anything that belongs to you any state. You cannot give it to anybody or whoever you wishes. Where in this code of conduct. So legally, Emrebian ho Okofa 1992 constitution, Emrebian ho Okofa Mahama code of conduct, Emrebian ho. So based on what? And a people are lawyers, Ejina court, defended the law, who condemn Sami Jamfi and even call for his dismissal. Why? If it's not about personal hatred, if it's not about political gymnastics, namoya, how? Which part of the code of conduct? Which part of a rule of law? But one thing people should know is say, Oko courtwa. We don't say yenkase yenkujina courtwa adaka mukase me free say, me susu say, ene me dream say. Say bi osaka sa miensa we mremu no kwasi akasa. Excuse my language, but that's the pain to kwasi akasa. Unkonko jina courtwa adaka na judge ti ho. La foto the kawasem was a kwabna manu awiade kwabna manu abokro kwabna manu atumeyere mu na kwabna manu akumeba fa dance bra de beka so misusu se kwabna manu ne ku no me free se kwabna manu ne ku no me dwen se kwabna manu ne tumeyere mu na without any evidence emra mu no eyenkwase akasa yamfa nya adwuma nemum emra mu ne ka se emra ne se de oye yenie ena emra mu ne enie ade ba ko ati nipa ne mmoa entem eye law. Without law, human beings, any animals, they are the crop. Scientifically, biology, for Bekato say, Nipanem, why are the crop? Name what dear tini pantem, emra. Because we call a room, M1, Emrabian, and tis what Timochi, won't me know she'll be a fan kujina baby and to be a pay. That is animal kingdom. That's the jungle. There's no law. But who by any permit a set of rules and regulations and laws, and they govern. Without law, KNC prison. Without law, and KNC court. And without law, nobody can be subject to any form of punishment without law. And before I be punished, will be no. First, the person, there must be a law. First. Second, I was say Obia committee law, no. Then, na ya prescribe a year sanctions and as a punishment the ma onipa kro no semra ni wonu mu a bibia na be chese we ye papa na we ye bone semra ni wonu mu a bibia na be chese we ye bone ntie nkotwe na so semra ni wonu mu bibia na obetime pene se yamfa na busua ni nkoto nsawam e wo mre kwa wo ja na yire ne ma ho akọ emra ni wonu mu a nothing. Until without law there's nothing called crime or offense or prison or sanction or punishment. Sa so na ko Bible mu a without the Bible, do not Jesus Christ without that 10 commandments, there's nothing called sin. Tika Yankopon Konyina, Onyana, Strobia, Emu, Biatanka, why papa, why born into who call heaven, now we call hell. Yankopon quote me, but ransom not the Bible. So the law is one. So before Bekas Yambu be Yanchu be asono, we must go back to the law and say, Emraben our form. And okay, Yeshem our form. Or form ran and ran as a such a benny and family and family. Now, any panel for Mrebia, so you see the train as so many. So, Ghana, for this is one of my difficulties. How are you hiding behind politics? We speak to the general public without conscience, without common sense, without logic. You think everything is about politics. Because of politics, in crucify will be for no wrongdoing. Because of politics, we should let somebody who committed crimes to go scot-free because of politics. And this would never help we Ghana as a nation. On Samijamfi. Now let me play these videos to you. Now member lawyer. Regulations be a bebe constitutional instrument be a bebe na go contrary to the 1992 constitution should be declared now void. It means the 1992 constitution stands supreme as far as anything law or any regulation or any rule in this country is concerned. But we don't know what happened. Supreme Court a judge for turned a blind eye to see what mason and making sure says the Mensa will never be allowed to appear or mount the witness board to account for her still worship. And the attorney petitioners no or more petition against the removal of the Chief Justice no or more lawyers or more for mono eye yera chachuchi kata yera tadio sorry ena voma wo sani pa miensa. So now chachuchi kata will have opportunity to cross-examine Chief Justice Torkono per on one casan responses our dear buyer in response to the petitioners issues and claims raised against her. If you have baited J. Mensa to evade justice, during 2021. After 4 years, one kasa na obejina da kanu mu achachu kata be yiwano. Yera. Before that, we patch a producer video now ready. If it's ready, let's go to video number 2. Na yanka kaya ho. They see yes, and you're ready, so let's move on. Yera achachu kata buwa mo be. Say, magun tete na mu betwa tete. Oria oka ni nsem nyina wi a o wrap up o betena se na se ka chem say munko kan Hosea magun tete na mu betwa tete o kasas me just 4 years enne san tete no na chief justice wo twe san tete no na chief justice wo twe. You have to be made to appear before the committee. If you don't catch and come, I may not resign. May whether she will resign or not is not my business. But as the Chief Justice, not just about resign, still should be compared to appear before the committee because taxpayers' money is involved. What the Ghana for secretary and neighbor per diem, we need that money back. Pacho producer, are ready? Let's go to video number 2. 19 their course.
2021. This is a question only one person in the world can answer.
Mr. Chikata, why wouldn't you limit?
I'm sorry?
Why wouldn't you limit your references to the EC to the office, the chairperson, rather than the personality? It seems to me that your attack is against the personality of the person and not the office. So we'll be happy if you just limit it to the chairperson of the EC, because in her absence, any of the deputies, anybody at all could step in.
Respectfully, my lords, there is only one returning officer for the presidential elections.
And that is the
that returning officer is not the EC. That returning officer is the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
And that chairperson, that's all. We are not interested.
The chairperson has a name. I'm not able to mention the name of the chairperson. No, my lord, respectfully, I want to understand. Am I being prohibited from mentioning the name of the chairperson? Is that the issue?
Reading through your petition,
yes,
as to the instant application, the constant emphasis on the name. What I'm telling you is that we'll be satisfied just with the designation, because in her absence, any of the deputies could act in that position.
My lord.
So if it is an election petition and you are challenging the election of the president, it is sufficient that the institution charged with the responsibility of conducting that election had done their work, and the chairperson, who is the head, represent that institution and not the personality, the name.
My lords, with the greatest respect, I believe that the constitutional requirements regarding the returning officer and the particular circumstances that we are dealing with in this case do not make it possible to have the situation that you are envisaging, where somebody else steps in for the chairperson. Respectfully, the Constitution makes the chairperson and only that.
After all these debates, the argument, of course, so no more come chambers bar, no more no. The Chachu can nyamra. Though Chachu quoted the law, quoted the Constitution, quoted all the necessary legal backing. They were omubo to go where also Supreme Court. And to be on what chest were MPP need. Come on, man, and O Kasakura Chief Justice, Mamia Mato, the sorry, and was say transit, quanutum, transit. Enough, transit. The patro take him to that video. Take us to that video. Let's watch. And video number 3. Video number 3. Producer, and in time, we don't have time. Video number 3. Go there and watch. The Chief Justice, let's go.
Can we hear you on your objection? of the president arises from some of
so that my lord on the stream what?
Right to my lady the Chief Justice, to him being impaneled in this matter arises from the fact that at a point in time he was known to be associated with the New Patriotic Party. And in fact, he was a parliamentary candidate in one of their constituencies in the Volta region.
I think you said enough.
Very well. And
yes.
I just want to demonstrate from, especially again.
No, I think you said enough.
From the
I think you
proceedings
said,
and the
no, I think you said enough. Kindly resume your seat.
Very well, my lady.
This is the Chief Justice. Atentrini nyina onatiano. A lawyer asori agina ne naso e kire de ntia wosusu say ense one of the justices or multi bench ni so mubedi sa asemu ne tena so bie. One man ne kwan so won kasa. Then anu kransi she rudely interrupted. Cutting off. It's enough. Meant was tena ho no mo a. What was he afraid of? Chese lawyer na chese the entire make us a papa is what trans because what chese was MPP ni not just MPP member. He was a parliamentary candidate our original platform so campaign ye. Case issue between MPP and NDC. Obia no also say be order and saben ku meche na kura se kwan. Mami man lawyer Tadio sorry ano kura nsi. Twitwa no so twitwa so transe obi kunu obi papa. And if you can't have your liberty to speak or to have a legal debate at the Supreme Court or the highest court of the land, where is a mobile latrine or a bus stop or a side debating? All these things happen. And Tadio sorry will have opportunity to cross-examine you Araba Torkono. Because we're one of the lawyers, my petitioners. And to respond to the Abano, you had opportunity to cross-examine you. And this cross-examination, you may not have that power to shut him down. Shut him to sit down. Because you only respond to questions and answers. That's all. So, Chachuka se Mitchell said, "Mo do ya tete na mo bi twan tete 4 years. Tete na sudoso and na wo beti." For now one, let's go to the same Supreme Court with the same Chief Justice and the same Yeratadio sorry. When the issues about homosexuality, LGBTQ bill, Richard the
court to determine a membership of parliament. They also come under Article 2.1. But the court has always said that yes, if they didn't invoke Article 2.1, they wouldn't have been here. But the court has said, look, we will keep our streams clear. Then you cite to foreign attorney general and about the fact that the matter is within.
Your 1 minute is up.
Well, there are other cases. More recent vintage, they all say clearly that that would not be a reason for the court to entertain jurisdiction. And that's for the secular. My lord, the Chief Justice must have had reason to issue it, and the Speaker must have had reason to respect it.
And it has constitutional power.
If it's not constitutional, he knows what to do. He should come and declare it unconstitutional. But otherwise, then the Speaker should feel deceived by it. That's the point.
You are done.
I'm done. But if my time was up anyway.
We also a Supreme Court. The truth of the matter is say, Obibi Obuama since 2012 Supreme Court, some of the political cases trans telecast in a life no abwa papa. Mayor who say yes, we have a long way to go as far as our judicial system is concerned. Sometimes you question those sitting at the bench, their legal background and their wisdom and knowledge in law. My main kind message is Kakrana Yembra ye lawyer or ye ma
say Design 37 Limited no. Omu contract.